Genesis 8 records the restoration after the flood. Yet it is not merely a report of waters receding. It reveals how God remembers, how he restores, and how he brings about a new beginning after judgment. Through this chapter, God teaches us the order of restoration and the patience of faith. First, God is a God who remembers. Genesis 8:1 begins, "But God remembered Noah and all the beasts, and all the livestock that were with him in the ark." This does not mean that God had forgotten and then recalled. Rather, it is a declaration that he remembered his covenant and began to act upon it. Even in the midst of judgment, God does not forget those he has chosen. When the waters covered the earth and everything seemed finished, God was still holding on to his promise. Even when we experience God's silence, his remembrance has never ceased. Second, restoration is not immediate. Though the rain stopped, the dry land did not appear at once. The waters gradually receded. The mountaintops became visible. There was a waiting, sending out the raven and the dove. God did not restore everything in an instant. Restoration has a process. Faith is the strength to endure that process. Noah did not open the ark by his own will. He waited until God spoke. This is obedience, not human impatience, but trust in God's timing. Third, a new beginning starts with worship. When Noah came out of the ark, the first thing he did was to build an altar and offer burnt offerings to the Lord. He did not build a house, nor begin his work. He worshiped first. The starting point of restoration is not the fixing of circumstances, but the restoration of relationship with God. The Lord received the pleasing aroma and declared that he would never again curse the ground because of man. Worship is not an act that changes circumstances, but a confession that restores relationship. Fourth, God makes his promise despite human weakness. God acknowledged that the intention of man's heart is evil from his youth, yet he still promised never again to destroy all living creatures by a flood. This promise is not based on human righteousness, but on God's mercy. Salvation does not rest on human possibility, but on God's faithfulness. Fifth, God restores order. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night, shall not cease. This is the reestablishment of the order of creation. Even in a world shattered by the flood, God restores the rhythm of seasons and time. God does not end in chaos. He restores order. Genesis 8 is not merely a story of survival. It is the continuation of God's covenant. Even after judgment, God remembers. He leads us through waiting. He calls us to begin again with worship, and he establishes his promise. Even in the midst of human weakness, what matters more than the waters receding is that God restores relationship. Therefore, Genesis 8 asks us, can we wait? Do we trust God's timing? Do we begin restoration with worship? The flood has ended, but the true beginning starts when we stand again with God.